I had the weirdest character backstory a while back. The DM said no, and it was fair enough, but I figured I'd tell y'all about it. You know Yetis? What if I told you there was precedent to argue one could reasonably, or in extreme circumstances, learn wizardry? At least in 5e, it can be argued as possible. Let me take you to the Yeti tyke stat block in Icewind Dale, where we have a quote. If captured as a child, raising one to be anything other than a savage, flesh-eating predator is extremely difficult, though not impossible. That is the nearest justification to make us a Yeti Drizzt, and they also have their own language, which can be argued as the roughest potential for intelligence. But despite this, we still definitely have to alter some lore to make this happen. So here's what I got. While most of the Yetis of the realm live alone or with their mate, there was once a tribe that hunted together. This rare occurrence was functionally a death sentence for the surrounding towns, and they left, leaving a Yeti tribe untouched for 500 years. And this time they discover magic. Not strong magic, nothing above second level, but magic. And they carved their spells into ice. This resulted in a large wall that acted as a kind of communal spellbook filled with the Yeti script. Something happened, either the tribe migrated or died, so the spell sat there for many years till a wizard, through means of divination, learned of the unremembered spellbook. He retrieved the ice, enchanted it so that it wouldn't melt, and brought it home to be read. It was hard to read, something about the script, he couldn't magically translate it, so he set out to find a translator. Yetis are hostile, and he had to kill the first one he sought to capture, but a child remained. Adolescent, so capable of reading but not quite fully developed, so he takes this one. Years pass, the wizard learned Yeti as he intended. The child learned Common and became an apprentice. When they traveled, the Yeti was put into a suit, uncomfortable but necessary. While he would normally be easy to mistake for another monster, clothes kind of imply intelligence. And while most strangers tried to figure out what he was, many more simply assumed he was a cursed human or an otherwise non-evil race. The only people who could possibly recognize a Yeti lived north, and by living in the southern region, they were safe from identification. Eventually, the wizard dies, and the Yeti now searches for something. Anything. Other Yetis, maybe? He's kind of without purpose. Perhaps he wants to develop the Yeti form of magic to become more advanced. It was different from how a normal wizard casts spells. Or perhaps he wants to learn normal wizardry, and he simply needs to find more experienced wizards and spellbooks too. In either case, on the mechanical end, he would have been just the stat block of a Goliath, get the cold resistance, strength, and constitution bonuses, stone's endurance, and natural athlete. Overall, it gets the vibe about right without homebrewing a new race. Like I said, the DM rejected that character, and I ended up playing a cleric. But later I homebrewed the tribe from the story over my current campaign, though the players are yet to travel to the mountains. Perhaps I'll tell you about it should that ever happen. I also had a short story outline that I never ended up writing for that character, where he picked up a Yeti tyke and had to travel north. I just ended up scrapping it. This was early in my D&D days where I wrote longer backstories. Nowadays, if it's more than a paragraph, I probably just scrap the entire thing. The DM rejected this one, and he was perfectly reasonable in doing that. See y'all next week.